Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are. Remember, you have greatness inside of you. Welcome back to another Fantasy Weekly video with the hockey coach guru, Coach Francis, directly for the Sunshine State in Florida. Before we start talking about the fantasy, we want to invite you, don't forget to subscribe and click on the likes. And of course, tell me what you think about this video about your fantasy. I know this is not for everybody, but a lot of fans now want to play bet on the games or on the fantasy fan players. So today, I'm going to give you everything what you need to know for the upcoming week and also for the upcoming month about your team, what kind of schedule they have, what kind of player they have right now. They're not looking great or they're looking good. So don't go nowhere. I'm going to give you everything what you need to know with the Fantasy Weekly with the hockey coach guru, Coach Frenchie. Here we go. Let's start right now. Oh, where are you, Coach? Yes, I'm right there in the corner at the top over there. I'm right here so you can see me. I'm going to give you everything what you need to know right now on the Fantasy Weekly. First of all, for the month of the March, New York Islanders play the most game with 17 and 31 days, guys. This is it's not like every 2 days. Unbelievable the schedule they have. They have to catch up with a lot of games they canceled because of COVID. 16 with 16 game. Again, same problem. They play more game every 2 days. We talk about Carolina, the Los Angeles Kings, the Calgary Flames, the Minnesota Wild, the Vegas Golden Knights, and the Winnipeg Jets. 8 teams are at 15 games, so they play every 2 days. Example, Columbus, Colorado, Montreal, Edmonton, Rangers, Ottawa, Tampa Bay, and Philadelphia. We know Tampa Bay did not play a lot in February. Honestly, they play only 6 games during the month of the February. 15 teams of the 32 teams played 14 games. And finally, 2 teams played less. Is the Washington Capitals, only 13 games. And Seattle Kraken play only 12. So if you have fantasy players right now, try to win the championship or your league. You have to figure out how many games your team play or the players play for to be sure is it maybe the right time to keep or maybe to trade and let him go. The next one I'm going to talk about in March. Look what's happening with Calgary, Minnesota. They play 16 games. 12 of the 16 are at home. 4 only on the way. So Minnesota, Calgary could have take advantage of that. We know already what Calgary is doing right now. They are number 1 of the Pacific Division. Great stat to know that. New York Islanders play 17 games, the most in any other team in NHL in March. 11 of the 17 are at home. A little bit advantage for Islanders. We know they struggle since the beginning of the season. Then the Winnipeg Jets, 16 games. They play 10 of them at home. Is it good enough for them to make the playoff? That's the biggest question. Then the Tampa Bay Lightning ended the race went out with Toronto, Florida for the top best team in the Division Atlantic, 15 games, but 10 of them are on the road. Can maybe make an effect on their team of the result. That will be interesting to follow at the end of the month. Then Dallas Star, another team right now chasing to have a spot in the playoff, play 14 games, but 10 of them are on the road. And we know they are a consistency team on the road. They play very good at home, but not necessary on the road. Now, the Fantasy Weekly, we are back at the normal schedule NHL. For the last 3 weeks, we was under the Olympic schedule. They catch up the game they missed, and we know there are no Olympics, so they put a schedule at the last minute. Now it's a regular schedule. They was already set up last August. This week, 50 game. We know if you follow this channel, it's always start the Monday to the Sunday. 3 game Monday, 9 Tuesday, 4 Wednesday, 9 Thursday, 7 Friday, 10 Saturday, and 8 Sunday. A lot of game only Monday and Wednesday, a little bit light, but the rest of the week is going to be very busy. So glad to have 15 games this week. Now, think about 18 play 4 games this week. I'm talking about Boston, Carolina, the Kings, the Wild, the Devils, the Senators, the Lightning, and the Vegas Golden Knights. 20 teams of the 32 play 3 games. There are 14 play only 2 teams. It's the Florida Panthers, the Arizona, the Predators, and the Penguins. Boston and Ottawa play 4 games this week. All of them are away. That's maybe another factor we have to pay attention about that. 3 games away, we have 4 teams. The Montreal on the road, they are on the West Canadian. The St. Louis Blues, the Vancouver Canucks are on the southern area. And the Los Angeles Kings also 3 games, but they play on the West Coast. The 3 games away, we have 6 teams. It's the Lightning, the Vegas, the Anaheim, the Columbus, the Philadelphia, and the Winnipeg. Now, the great schedule for the fantasy player, 4 games. If you have players for those teams, you need to learn about this, is the Los Angeles Kings. Now, they play against Boston, Dallas, Columbus Blue Jackets, and Buffalo. Most of those teams gave a lot of giveaway goal, right? A GA. Now, maybe, some people like Kopitar or Arvidsson or Dottie are already picked. But if you're looking maybe to boost your team for the upcoming week on your fantasy, you should look about Tyler Moore. Moore have his best career right now in NHL. And he really productive right now. He play on the second line, sometimes third line. You have to pay attention. What about Philippe Dano? Philippe Dano has 15 goals. At that moment, he's only on the 28% Yahoo lineup roster right now. What about Quinton Byfield? Scored his second goal of the week of the season last game. I think Byfield could be someone you can look about this. And also the goaltender Peterson. The Kings play 16 games this month, and maybe he's going to have a load between the pipes. So someone you can look about that. The second team have a good week for is the Tampa Bay Lightning. Ottawa, Pittsburgh, Detroit, Chicago, they play this week, and they are on the way. But one player I think we don't pay attention is Corey Perry. Whatever he play on the 4 line, he play on the unit number 1 on power play, and he has already 14 goals. That's something I can look about that. Everybody talk about Victor Edmond. We never think about the second one behind. I think it's Sergachev. If you want to add an NHL players, I think it will be the one you can look about that. Otherwise, most of the old players in Tampa Bay are already select or pick in the fantasy league. The third team have a good schedule this week. The Vancouver, the New Jersey Devils, play against Vancouver, Columbus, Rangers, Seattle, the St. Louis Blues. Maybe the last 2 games a little bit difficult, but they produced a lot of goals recently. The problem is they gave a lot of goals. That's the problem they have right now. But if you want some productivity on offensive, Urshire, Sharankovic looking great the last 2 or 3 weeks. Hamilton is back in the lineup, and Zacha and Pavel Zacha is doing better. So a team right now, you maybe look about to add another players in your lineup. It's maybe the New Jersey Devils. The Carolina Hurricanes play 4 games this week. Detroit, Washington, Pittsburgh, and Seattle. Because D'Angelo is hurt for 1 month, I think we should looking for Petche. He get more minutes. He get also some advantage numeric power play, and I think you should look about that. Kotkaniemi, that's another player you have to look about this. Yeah, 11, 12 goals right now. Whatever he play on the 4 line, he play on unit number 2 on power play. That's something you have to look. And then the 3rd line for Carolina. What are you talking about, coach? It's because they play like a regular 1 or 2. Robert Amo split very well the time of a top 9 over there. So maybe a Jordan Stahl, maybe an Eddie Raider. That's another one over there. Now Jarvis go from the 1st to the 3rd. Maybe Zeb Jarvis, the rookie, someone you can look about that. Finally, the last team have a good schedule this week you can look is the Vegas Golden Knights. Play against San Jose, Boston, and Ottawa. So that's something they are really, really not a hard schedule, but they are really off. We have a lot of players there that's not produced. I will set you target on the goaltender over there because now Leonard is out. We expect now to have a split between Brossoit and Thompson. and nobody know about Thompson. If you want to have a backup number 3, or you want to increase a better goaltender, maybe you can get 2 games this week. You can maybe get at least 1, maybe 2 W. I will look for Thompson for the Vegas Golden Knights. Let's move on to the next one. The difficulty schedule for the team opponent who they play this week. The first one is Pittsburgh. They play only 2 games, but they play Tampa Bay, Carolina. A really big challenge for Pittsburgh for sure this week. What they're going to do. Then the Detroit play again an average of 7-26. They are on the southeastern schedule, so Tampa Bay, Florida, and Carolina. The New York Islanders play 3 games. They play again Colorado, Vancouver, St. Louis. So that's not going to be easy for them. We all know they struggle. Buffalo, wow. Toronto, Minnesota, Los Angeles Kings. Another team is going to have a difficult time with 6:52. Finally, the Seattle Kraken play 3 games, 6:49. It's Nashville, Washington, and Carolina. Another difficult week for the 4 of the 5 time team right now. They are all almost eliminated. The easy schedule of the week. Edmonton play at home 3 games. They get Flyers, Chicago, and Montreal. Very easy for them. They're all coming back for a trip of 4 games, I believe, on the road. And they play again a tough team. So 383 is going to be better for them to come back and maybe have a spot in the playoff. The Nashville Predators, only 2 games, but they play only Seattle, San Jose Sharks. So take advantage of that schedule. Florida Panthers, 2 games, struggle the last 3 games. They lost at home. Again, Ottawa, Detroit on the road. The Colorado play 3 games. Again, Islanders, Arizona, Calgary. Not too bad. It will be interesting to see Calgary, Colorado next week. And then finally, Toronto play 3 games. Washington, Buffalo, Vancouver. So Toronto should have not too bad about that. Let's finish with a hot and cold. Everything like that. Last week, we talked about the Calgary Flames. They was on the straight with 10 wins. And, you know, the line home, Goodrow and Tkachuk. But now it's all about Columbus Blue Jackets. I know they lost Saturday night. They did not score. They had not many positivity over there. But prior to that, the last 9 games prior to that one, or the 10 games, there was 8-2. And they beat the Florida Panthers. They scored a lot of the game. And I want to tell you what's going on over there. Patrick Laney, 11 game, guys, 21 points, but 13 goals in the last 11 games. Laney, what is hot is hot. 37 shots for that ride. So that gave him about 4 shots, almost 4 shots per game. The captain, Jenner, have 9 games, have 11 points with 25 shots. That's almost 3. And then what about the veteran Voracek? 10 games, 10 points, 9 assists, 15 shots. The defenseman, Werenski, he did not play the last 2 games because he's hurt. But the last 6 games he played, he have 8 points and 24 shots. That's give him 4 shots per game, guys, and over 1 point per game. And finally, the goaltender, Perubé. They have all 3 player goaltender before him. He was hurt. He took advantage of that. What he got, 4 games, 3-1. That's the last game, obviously. But a save percentage of 9-2-4. We know the story about Berube, 30 years old. Did not play in NHL since 17-18. And he found a way to get a first 3W before he lost the last game. So that's happening in Columbus. Now, who is out this week right now? We talk about Matthews, the last couple of games. Matthews, Marner. They scored 10 goals against Detroit the last game, but the last 3 games, they have both 9 points. Schmaltz in Arizona and Kucherov in Tampa. Both of them, the last 3 games, they have 6 points, 3 goals, 3 assists. Talk about Elias Pettersson. The last 4 games, guys, 10 points, 3 goals, 3 power play points, and 1 shot in the goal, plus 46 shots on the net. Unbelievable around that part over there. Now, J.D. Miller, guys, the last 5 games have 11 points, 4-7. Miller's looking good. Pettersson looking good. Vancouver's looking good. They beat the Calgary Flames 7-1. Patrick Laney, we just mentioned about him now because he played yesterday, 12 games. He had 21 points. Didn't have 0 point last game. He stopped his streak of 9 games with a 1 point. Ubi, 17 points the last 10 games, guys. 2 goals, 15 assists. Huberdeau have an amazing, great year. He's at the top best point in NHL right now, battle with McDavid and Trussell. Langholm at 12 game. The last 12, he has 18.9 and 9. Then finally, players we have to mention right now, they are really hot. It's Larkin, Forsberg, Kane, McDavid, and McKinnon. Now, the players are really cold, and it's Vegas. Let's start it with that enough. 0 point in the last 12 game, guys. -6. Really difficult time for that enough. We got healthy scratch. It's not looking good for him right now. Kapanen continues his streak of 0 point. 13 game. The last 13 is 0. Foligno and Jean-Marc, no point the last 8 game. Talk about Vegas, right? Eskinen, defenseman for Dallas, only 1 assist in the last 9 game. Now we have also in Vegas, I just mentioned earlier, Carl, Pietrangelo, and Roy. All 3 have only 1 point in the last 6 games. Roy did not score for the last 9 games. Then we have other players are cold right now. Pierre Engvall at Toronto, Jarvis, Tippett, Tonskui. But I want to talk about John Tavares. He has points, assists. I believe he has 7 assists in the last 12 games. But guy, he did not score 0 goal in the last 12 games. This win yesterday, 10-7 against Detroit. Do you know what he got? 0 point. That's alarming for the captain and the veteran over there. So if you're Toronto Maple Leafs, or if you are a fantasy players, and you're looking for what's going on with Tavares, that's what you got, who is cold and hot. And finally, I want to share with you about the goaltender. We do this very bit friendly and quick. Right now, you talk about Swimmen and Boston. It's 4-0-1 at that moment. Amazing, great performance with 1 shutout. Birubé at Columbus is 3-1. Wedgwood and Arizona, guys. Unbelievable what Scott Wedgwood, he was claimed from the Devils. We know Devils need a goaltender at that moment. Just again, just consider this guy. The last 14 games, 10-2-1. Unbelievable season. I believe he should win the Vizina. Finally, at St. Louis, Uso became now the goaltender number 1 over there, over Bennington. Who is called, let's skip Primo, and also, and let's go with Lehkonen. Lehkonen struggle right now. You can see Martin John and Flowers, 0-5-1. Gibson and Anaheim, not looking good right now. 5.72, guys. Unbelievable. Philip Grobauer, the worst in the difficult time right now in NHL, 0-5-1. Zaros, now he got a good game yesterday at the Classic Stadium, but before that, he had really struggled with 3.20. Is 1-6 now, the last 7 games. But again, it's not a good year. Definitely, Owenson, honestly, back in the lineup for the Florida Panthers, 1-2-0. Guys, this is how I love to talk about Fantasy Weekly. I like to sharing those kind of stats you don't see nowhere and you can hear from us. And I want to give you, maybe helping you to have a better week on your fantasy. It could be on the Sportbook, or it could be on your fantasy, FanDuel or DraftKings, everything like that. So hopefully, guys, you enjoy it. But before we leave, of course, you have to subscribe and click on the like. But tell me more about what you think about this Fantasy Weekly, and tell me what kind of contents you want to hear. Or if you have any question, please let me drop this in the comments. I answer at each comment on any video we do here. I answer each one of you guys. So don't be shy. Don't hesitate to leave your comments and tell me what you think about the Fantasy Weekly. Until then, my friend, I want to remind you, of course, you have greatness inside of you. I wish you an amazing, great week. I look forward to you next week for another Fantasy Weekly with the Hockey Coach Guru, Coach Frenchy.